There is some good news on the horizon. Conservatives may actually get a big win on a different subject, photo ID for voting. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the Senate will take up the SAVE Act when lawmakers come back to D.C. next week. The legislation requires proof of citizenship to vote, could set the stage for much higher stakes debate over election integrity ahead of the 2026 critical midterms.
Yeah, here to weigh in, Republican Congresswoman Marionette Miller-Meeks of Iowa. Great to see you this morning. So I want to stay on the topic of the SAVE Act and Democrats repeatedly calling voter ID, as you know, Jim Crow 2.0. But here's Minority Leader Chuck Schumer putting Democrats' hypocrisy on full display, vouching for proof of citizenship to prevent fraud. This was several decades ago. Take a look.
Everywhere people go, they're asked for a Social Security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Wow. Again, that was 1996, I believe. What do you make of what we're hearing from him today?
How things have changed. And, Senator Schumer might know a little bit about Jim Crow laws because we know it was Southern Democrats who put them in place. But let's be honest, you have to have an ID card to buy a beer, to board a plane. I had to show proof of citizenship when I was appointed as director of the Department of Public Health in Iowa. So it is very common. You know, the vast majority of Americans, 83%, including over 70% of Democrats, agree with voter ID. 36 states already have voter ID. And when we passed election integrity laws in Iowa, and I did 2 rounds of that when I was a state senator, we didn't have any reduction in the number of people who voted. In fact, we had more people vote because they're confident their vote counts. And let me give you a little story. When I won this congressional race in 2020, after all of the recounts, I won by 6 votes. So it doesn't matter if fraud is infinitesimal. One illegal vote counteracts and reduces the impact of a legal voter. We had a mayoral race in my district that was tied. And after, revoting, it was decided by drawing a name out of a hat. So one illegal vote is one illegal vote too many.
Wow. No, absolutely. So, Congresswoman, I do want to switch now to the ongoing shutdown. Of course, Homeland Security is partially shut down, day 5 now without funding. And, of course, ICE funded through the One Big Beautiful Bill, but TSA, FEMA, Coast Guard, Secret Service, all caught in the middle. You got proposals going back and forth, but it does not look like either side is willing to budge an inch right now. Where do the negotiations stand?
Well, as you know, the Democrats submitted a counteroffer that was rejected by the White House. The Republicans would be fine with requiring body cameras on Customs and Border Protection or ICE agents. As we know, it's the sanctuary city policies with not having local law enforcement help with ICE to remove violent criminal illegal aliens from those cities that are making people less safe. So there are proposals. There are some things that the White House and the Republicans would be willing to do, but certainly not the proposals that the Democrats came forward. And let's be honest here, the Democrats are hurting the American people. So they're shutting down parts of the government. As you mentioned, ICE has already been funded. So it's TSA, who was already forced to work without pay. And even if you're getting back pay, the fact that you're not getting paid on your typical regular paycheck, people have bills to pay, mortgages to pay, rent, car payments. They have to put food on the table for their families. This puts undue stress on those individuals that are essential workers and have to be out there every single day to help Americans get to family, someone having a baby, someone who's dying, a business, event that you have to go to, or business meetings. So it does impact everyday Americans. You mentioned that we have another blizzard and snowstorm coming through. That impacts FEMA, and we need FEMA to be able to do its job for these natural disasters that are coming across. You still have parts of the southern United States getting out from the last blizzard and snowstorm. So, what they're doing is hurting the American people. And don't forget, the use of force by Homeland Security, this was put in place by Democrats. If Democrats didn't like the laws, they could have changed the laws. They were in control for 4 years. They could have changed the use of force for Department of Homeland Security, which is the same for law enforcement. They could have changed immigration law, but they didn't do any of that. Instead, they let over 10 million people come into our country, gangs, overdoses from fentanyl and other illegal drugs. Those are all down as President Trump has secured the border.
Good point. Congresswoman Marionette Miller-Meeks, great to have you with us this morning. Thank you.